Okay, people, the UK scene is absolutely on fire at the moment, and there is one name that is getting headlines all over the place. Okay, if you're familiar with the channel, all right, you might have seen my recent video, Fredo, still planning hits on the run, the fall of HRB. It's this video here that's right above my head, right there, right there. And look, I did this video, okay? This was a much requested video. I did a very long breakdown. If you notice, I don't usually be doing 1 hour, 43 videos on this channel, but this is a video that's been going absolutely, like this topic has been going absolutely crazy in the UK for months now, to be honest with you. But everything came to a head. There was a very dramatic trial. A whole bunch of Fredo's friends ended up going down and getting serious sentences. There's been a whole bunch of fallout. There's rumors that he was on the run. You know, he was locked up in Dubai for a period of time. Now they're saying he's in Thailand. He's playing a real life game of catch me if you can for the UK rap scene. And look, okay, I rock with Fredo's music. I've never really covered him in detail before. I have followed the case with interest, but people have been on my bumper saying that we need an update on Fredo. We need an update on Fredo. Now, when I first dropped this video, it wasn't, I'll keep it real, it wasn't doing many numbers. People didn't seem that interested. And I think that's because the majority, like over 70% of my audience is American. You guys weren't knowing who Fredo was. A lot of people commented when I first dropped that video, I thought you was talking about Fredo Bang, that guy that be beefing with NBA Youngboy. But as the days have gone on, okay, it's now been 3 days since I dropped that video. The numbers just keep going up and up and up. And it seems like the UK scene are discovering this video, which I personally would probably say is the best and most comprehensive breakdown of Fredo's situation. Fresh off the back of these alleged 2 international situations that went down the same day where 2 people ended up getting attacked in different countries. And both of the people that seemingly did the attacks mentioned Fredo's name in the Australia incident. They were even telling the people getting attacked to apologize to Fredo. But look, all of this stuff's been going on, and I'm not the only one, all right? I'm not the only one. Before you start getting on me, calling me the police and all that nonsense people like to say about me, I'm not the only person covering this, and it's all over the place. So shout out to my guy Tanks, all right? Shout out to my guy Tanks. He is really one of the most poppin' UK content creators right now. He's going crazy. He's live right now, funnily enough, but we ain't going to tap in with that right this second. But he has done video after video. He even said Fredo paid his rent this month. I don't think he means Fredo directly reached out to him and said, "Here's a bag. Let me bless you. Let me bless you like a side piece and pay your rent." He is saying that he has done so many videos on Fredo and they've been so viral, been getting a whole bunch of views that basically he's making more than rent money off of these Fredo videos. Okay, and there's a whole bunch. Okay, from when the case went down to up to now, to the crazy allegations that have been put on Fredo's name, he's been covering it. But it's not just him. Shout out to my guy Bouncer. All right, Bouncer has also been covering it in depth. I'm certain that Bouncer's rent is very high. He lives in Dubai. Everyone be talking about his mansion in Dubai. He's living good. Okay, so I don't think he'd be needing Fredo for the rent money. But he has really got the internet in a twist at the moment. Okay, right now they're saying the trifecta of UK rap content creators is me, Tanks, and Bouncer. And Tanks and Bouncer, to their credit, salute to them. They have been covering this whole situation prolifically. We've seen endless videos from both of them. You know what I'm saying? People exposing Fredo straight away. He's got a video and he's doing numbers, okay, about the setup at the Australia show. He is on it. This is breaking. This is like Fox 24-hour news when it comes to this situation. But people, I'm here with a confession today, okay? I've got to throw my hat back into the ring, man. And, man, I don't even know how to say this, man. I'm going to need a little sip of my drink because I'm nervous to even admit this. I got the call. Got the call from Fredo. He called me today. He was very upset, okay? He was very enraged. He was very... Yeah, he had a lot to say, okay? And obviously, I understand I had a lot to say. I did a 1 hour 45 not documentary, but an hour 45 breakdown of the situation. I went very in-depth. I left no holds barred. Now, when I made that video, there was a lot of things that hadn't come out yet. Now, a lot of crazy things have come out. And we had words, man. We had words. So shout out to Fredo, man. We had a long conversation. You know, it started off heated. We ended up, simmering down and getting to the point where we came to an understanding. And it wasn't no take the video down. I'm going to press you. I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to send the hitters to where you're at next. It was more a case of there being more to the story. And I'm here to tell you today, I got some exclusives for you today, right? It's unlucky to Tanks and Bouncer, but I got the drop on you guys. I got the exclusive. I don't think you guys have made anything about this yet. It's actually crazy. So look, Fred broke it down to me, and he told me, okay, he told me a lot of stuff. There's stuff that I definitely can't tell you, but there's stuff that he told me that I'm allowed to tell you guys. And for any of the UK scene that wants to tap in with this video, man, I'm about to blow your mind with some of these things, because the Fredo situation is definitely not as clear-cut as it looked from the outset. A lot of the slander being put on Fredo's name, and I'll keep it honest, I was believing a lot of things that I was seeing. Honestly, I was believing a lot of things that I was seeing. I'm not saying everything's false. I'm certainly not saying I don't think there was too much cap in my video. There was maybe some speculation. But for all of the stuff that's come out since then about Fredo, things are much deeper, okay? And I actually couldn't believe what I was hearing. He told me a few things. I said, look, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to have to go away. I'm going to have to do my homework. I'm going to have to find some links. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research. But yeah, I found some stuff, man. I found some stuff, all right? And you know what I'm saying? For anybody saying that people in the scene are hating on Fredo, we're just trying to get to the truth, man. And Fredo, he is somebody that understands the media. He understands the journalism. He's not on some tough stuff saying that I'm going to be the next package. He's just saying, okay, well, if you think that, what about this? Did you know this? Did you know that? And I'm saying, I didn't know this. I didn't know that. That you just told me is crazy. That and this and that over there might just change everything. So I'm honestly mind blown by some of the stuff that I've seen. And look, listen, I told Fred that I would make a video. I didn't tell him what I would put in the video. He's probably going to like some of the stuff I say in the video. He might not like some of the other stuff I'm going to say in the video. And what I'm about to show you, I know he's not going to like. But in the interest of transparency and honesty, and to just put all the cards on the table, we got to be honest. So the thing that Fred is currently struggling with, and everybody knows this that's following the UK scene, okay? Since I did that video on him, in the days that followed, it seems like all of his haters and all of his enemies have come together to expose him on a deeper level. And I'm sorry, I just got to be honest. I got to keep it real. I can't whitewash this story. This page, Mr. Fake Flex, has been going insanely viral. Okay, this page came out of nowhere and is now at 26,000 followers. Not just 26,000 followers, all right? Not just 26,000 followers. It ain't, not just that. No. Apparently, allegedly, now, I got to take this with a sprinkle of salt. Apparently, people are so tapped in, Drake himself is watching the stories. It's pretty crazy. That's just to show you the reach. Okay, that's just to show you the reach. Allegedly, according to at least an image of Drake allegedly looking at the stories, even Drake is following along with this drama. Even Drake is tapped in with the UK scene enough to want to know what's going on with Fred getting exposed. Now, this Instagram page, now look, I haven't got enough time to break down all of the allegations on this page. If you like this video, if you comment on this video, if you support this video and this video does some numbers, I could dig a little bit deeper into some of the allegations on this page. I could also dig a little bit deeper into some of the counter narratives that I've been told by Fred, that I've been told by other people separately, and that I found in my own research that maybe cast some doubt on some of the allegations on this page. But basically, this is a whole bunch of just Fredo takedowns. There's some classic ones. Do you remember this big girl saying that Fredo was trying to get her to go $15,000 a night in a Greek hotel with her? Now, that being exposed as cap, but they're dragging up everything. They're dragging up every single thing from his past, and this goes back a long-ass time, okay? There's a whole bunch of stuff. They're saying there's fake bags that were bought for females that he was messing with, fake Birkin bags. They were saying that, you know, he collabs with one of the biggest rappers in the UK, Dave. They got a bunch of songs together. They killed it. You know, what was it? Funky Friday. You know what I mean? Listen, this is a serious guy. They trying to expose the relationship with Santan Dave. They trying to stoke a beef. This page was trying to say that Fred had been disloyal and had insulted some of his members. Like, this was the thing with with Dave, and, you know, trying to expose these back and forth, saying that Fredo had been disloyal in messages or whatever. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff, and I haven't got time to get into all of it. It will take me a long time. If you want to get me, if you want me to get into it, I could get into it. But amongst the allegations, okay, there's a whole bunch of stuff to do with girls, to do with cheating, to do with, and I'll just say it, and I don't want to get into it too much in this video, not because I'm scared to talk about it, but because, look, I don't want this video getting demonetized when I'm really just trying to talk on some other stuff right now. But they making allegations that Fred was on social media accounts talking to young girls, trying to arrange to meet them. Now, in a lot of these cases, girls are clapping back. They're saying, no, it wasn't me. It's not like that. That's not how it went down. And then there's other stuff where people were spreading old posts saying, look, people making all sorts of allegations against Fred. Okay, so look, this is the situation. Okay, this is going super viral. This is basically the thorn in his side right now. Okay, and when we spoke, obviously it was pretty major that I had to say, bruh, what's going on with this page? Who's behind this page? Who's involved with this page? They're really going crazy on you right now. They're dissing you on a deeper level. And they got personal info. I see stuff on the story that looked like they were showing pictures of stories and pictures from inside properties where Fredo and his team was staying. Okay, I definitely don't want to show you that. But it was looking like whoever's involved in this must be someone on the inside, must be someone who was really close to Fred, must be somebody not an internet nerd doing exterior external research like me, but somebody on the inside with inside knowledge about a lot of things that nobody would find out. So when I spoke to Fred, all right, he said, look, there's a whole bunch of cap on that page. He said, and you can make up your own minds about this, all right? He said that a lot of the stuff that's being posted on this page, conversations, there's fake stuff mixed in with real stuff potentially. All right. He's saying that there's a lot of stuff that's fake. He's saying things are being twisted, things are being manipulated, conversations are being used to essentially stoke internal beef with him and his crew. Obviously, a bunch of members of his crew recently got sentenced to serious years behind bars, trying to stoke issues with his team, his professional music team, as well as people he's collaborating with in the music industry. Dave, realistically, one of the biggest artists in the UK. In the UK, I'm going to have to get another drink. Hang on. Man, when you get pressed by these rappers, man, you got to hydrate. I swear, man. I swear. It's stressful out here. It's pressure out here. But look, he telling me there's a lot of false truths on that page. And I'm saying, okay, look. Who could it be? I know you got ops on the streets. We know who they are, all right? Some of them ops that Fredo has are people that want to get me down, okay? That's no secret as well. If you know the deep, dark lore of this channel, you'll know, and this isn't a reason for this, but you'll know that some of the people Fredo's beefing with in the street, they've been hating on him, right? They've been dissing on him. We got a bunch of stuff on here, right? Digga D been beefing with Fredo. That ain't nothing new, all right? And as far as I'm aware, I'm cool with Digga D. Like, I did an interview with him. I rocked with him. I promoted his music. I did the video that was dissing on Central C, not as a favor to him, but he appreciated the truth of that video. And that's why I'm the guy with the facts, okay? I'm the guy to spit truth, spit facts, cut through the bullshit. I don't take sides. The only side I'm on is the truth, right? So I'm saying to Fred, all right, man, look, okay, it was no disrespect. You know, I appreciate it. He's saying he respects what I do, my journalism, but I need to get things right. I need to push things in the direction of the truth. And I've heard this from a million rappers. The amount of times, yeah, that I've dropped a documentary on a rapper and they've said, oh, that's a load of cap. I'm like, what's cap? I ain't got nothing to say. Whether it's the rapper themselves, whether it's the gangsters behind them, whether it's people on Reddit, oh, Trap Law, it's just all a bunch of cap off Reddit. Okay, what's cap? Silence. Radio silence. But I said to Fred, to his credit, I said, well, where's all this come from? What's this all about? What is the story behind this? Like, you're saying they're trying to set you up, they're falsifying messages, all this kind of thing. Prove it, basically. Like, straight up, man. Straight up. I'm just like, prove it. Like, what's going on with this? I'm not going to lie. He sent me some stuff. He sent me some stuff I can't share, but he sent me some stuff I can share. He sent me some stuff that made me say, damn, this deeper than the ops. All right, this deeper than the ops. So look, first thing I want to show you, right? Everybody's been on Fred's bumper about your company's gone into liquidation. Your company's gone into liquidation. He shut his company down. His money's been frozen. Now look, I'll keep it real, and this is how you know I ain't taking sides, because Fred don't like this narrative being out there. But there's clearly serious allegations as far as the street stuff and his friends going away for a bunch of years in the UK. Okay. I personally think he probably does have accounts frozen. Personally, he didn't want to speak on that. But I personally feel like financially they're probably putting the screws on him. That's how the police do. Young Thug just had to fight to get a whole bunch of his cars back after he took his plea and got out for the trial. Young Thug's car collection ain't got nothing to do with all them drills that were going on. Okay, but Fred hasn't had his day in court. He hasn't cleared his name. But a lot of people are on his case saying his company's gone into liquidation. He's going broke. However, interestingly, and I want to be really careful about what I show here. All right, look, ain't no secret that Fred's real name is, I'm just going to, Marvin Bailey. That's his real name, all right? That's his real name. Now, I want to be careful about what I show here because I don't want to put up any personal information, identifying information. But as you see at the bottom here, okay, in the UK, we have something called Companies House. When you start a company, the company records are public. Anyone that started a company it'll be on company's house. Okay, and there's different ways that you can do it, but essentially you have to have a correspondence address. That doesn't mean that's your home address, but you have to have an address that your company's registered to. It might be your office, it might be your accountancy firm, it might be a mailing address, but you have to have your name. It's legit. And Marvin Bailey is his name. He a real director of companies. And this parental guidance company, as far as I'm aware, all right, it's filed a confirmation statement. Okay, it's still existing. All right, he's got several companies. This ain't the only company that he's got. Okay, so look, Fred's got companies that are still about. He's got companies that aren't about. Sometimes people start different companies. Some companies get put into liquidation. You know what I mean? And now for the record, I am certain that the address on these companies right here, these are service addresses. So I'm just gonna double check this, that I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to put nobody's address out there. But as far as I'm aware, okay, this is so this is a company that corresponds, the address on here corresponds to an accountancy company. This ain't no personal address, but he got companies. He got numerous companies, okay, related to him. PG Records, his company is called PG, Parental Guidance. He's got a tattoo that says Pattern Gang, but Parental Guidance. In the UK, you know how in the US, for my US audience, okay, you might go see a movie, it might be rated M for mature, or is that video games? Hang on, let me look this up. Yes, all right. In the United States, okay, you have the MPA film ratings. Films can be rated G, they can be PG, parental guidance is suggested, PG-13, they can be rated R, NC-17 for the real dirty stuff, all right? And you don't see this very often. Most good films about gangsters that I be watching are rated R in the US. Now, in the UK, we have another system. We have parental guidance, we have other age ratings, okay? So in the UK, we have the British Board of Film Classifications, okay? It's basically the same thing in the UK. They rate the movies, they rate the DVDs, they rate all of that stuff. Okay, and the current certifications, you got U for Universal, PG for parental guidance, 12A, yada, 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 all the way up to 18, R18. That's basically pornos, right? So parental guidance, if you notice, in the UK, it's this triangular logo. Now, Fredo, all right, look, I'm going to say I don't pick sides, all right? The gang that he was alleged to be a part of is known as HRB, the Harrow Road Boys. Now, he reps this other crew called Pattern Gang. Now, I personally always understood Pattern Gang to be more like the street culture, streetwear kind of vibe. A lot of crews do this, you know what I'm saying? A lot of guys, the O Block guys, you know, O Block kind of like a brand name, but they part of the Gangster Disciple. They part of the Black Disciples. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of different things, and you know, Lil Durk's OTF. OTF was never really a gang, right? It was a brand. Lil Durk comes from Lamron, and he's a Black Disciple too. He'd be claiming 300, he'd be claiming all types of different stuff. But OTF was the brand. So Fredo's PG, Parental Guidance, or Pattern Gang, this was his clothing brand, and this was something that he was going to launch as a full streetwear line. So if you see here, this was a famous logo. This was the Pattern Gang logo, right? And this has been put on merch. I don't think this is official because you see all sorts of people stealing logos and making stuff on, what is it, Redbubble or whatever it's called, this website. People be making fan-made merch. But this was his logo. It's inspired by the British Board of Film Certifications logo for parental guidance film. This is Pattern Gang. It's got bullet holes in it, but it's the same style logo, all right? It's inspired by this logo, okay? You can see the inspiration. It's transformative, okay? Ain't no copyright, ain't no problems with there. This is how he was going. He was taking this reference. He was launching his own clothing, and this been his whole thing. He's put this on album covers before. If you see here, this is his breakthrough album cover, right? For Get Rich or Get Recalled, okay? Or his debut mixtape. And as you see here, PG, he's got the logo there, all right? Now, look, this don't look good for the Rico, but he got HRB, the Harrow Road Boys on the front cover there. And he even got G Dot's World, which is a reference to a brother of Lil Dots who passed away, a brother of Wu who passed away. Not part of the, you know what I'm saying? But allegedly, he died in, you know, in a road traffic accident as allegedly the result of a police chase. But look, there's a few references on there that maybe looking back shouldn't have been there. But this PG Pattern Gang thing, this has always been his thing. He's always been pushing this. And he was basically having a company, all right? He was having a company. He's got PG Records Limited. This is active. People saying, his company's gone into liquidation. Yeah, this company's gone into liquidation, but he's got PG Records Limited. And interestingly, okay, this is where it gets crazy because he told me this and this stuff actually started to blow my mind. I was like, okay, there's actually something going on here. Parental Guidance Clothing Limited. Okay, this is a company, a real company. It's still going. Still people involved with this. So here's where it gets interesting. These are his real companies, all right? As we know, this official Fredo Limited went into liquidation. This has been associated with him. Now, when you look here, There's only 3 companies in the whole list of appointments. And this includes companies that liquidated. It includes companies that are dissolved. There's only 3. If you go on Companies House for Marvin Bailey, that's his real Companies House. There's only 3 appointments. Now, what he told me next blew my mind. Okay. And he told me that I can say this. All right. He said that, look, you can put this out there if you want to. You can be the first person to put this out there. It's actually crazy. He told me, bro, this is so crazy. This is so crazy. This changes everything. He told me that he had a personal assistant working for him for a number of years, and that he hired the personal assistant off the basis of their track record. Apparently, they'd worked for a number of big companies, including Chanel, the Chanel, double C, big double C Chanel. Okay. And he said, all right, bet. He's hired this person as personal assistant, and they've had a good working relationship over a number of years. He said that this personal assistant has been very involved in his operation. Now, I have a personal assistant, and shout out to my personal assistant. She kills it, okay? Love her to death. Amazing at her job. I look back and I think, I don't know how I functioned without her. Now, she helps me keep things going. I've got multiple channels going. We launching other things. We working on big things, okay? Shout out to my personal assistant. Killer. I'm so blessed to have found her. But she very involved in my situation, okay? Now, a lot of trust goes into that. Fredo has apparently put a lot of trust into this person. He's even tasked this person to deal with suppliers, to deal with manufacturers, to help set up the clothing brand. And at a certain point, things have started going wrong. He said things aren't really adding up. Said we're losing deals, we're losing suppliers. And he's confused. And he's saying the assistant's coming to him saying, oh, these people don't want to work with you. These people don't want to work with you. It's not going to plan. He's thinking, that's odd. And then it's turning out. He's finding out later on down the line, allegedly, that's what he told me. He's telling me he's speaking to suppliers directly, speaking to people involved and saying, yeah, she was telling us not to mess with you. She was telling us, allegedly, this is just, you know what I'm saying? Anything in this video is my opinion. I don't want to have no smoke with anybody, okay? But he's telling me he's speaking to people on the other side. Conversations that were supposed to have gone one way have gone another way. Now, what he said to me, his clothing line is called Parental Guidance, right? Parental Guidance. Now, look, we've all been there. Sometimes it's cool to replace a little number with a letter. You know what I'm saying? You remember school, you would put 1337 for elite. You might turn your calculator upside down, write boobs. Sometimes putting a letter and swapping that out with a number can throw people off. No word of a lie. He's told me that behind the scenes, in secret, according to him, this assistant was on some finessery stuff. And this assistant started another company called Parental One Guidance, replacing the L with a 1, so it flew under the radar. And secretly, allegedly, moved the trademarks for his PG clothing label into her company. Allegedly, he's saying that she filed fake documents as if she was him to get this brand, to get hold of this brand, to get hold of the trademarks, to basically own Parental Guidance. Now, when he's told me this, I've said, okay, that's crazy, but prove it. I'm going to need to see you prove this. He's hit me with a work, man. He came like whack 100. He hit me with a work. This Parental One Guidance Limited. This is a real thing. 2 officers. One of them, Marvin Bailey. But you might be thinking, things don't quite add up. This is Marvin William Bailey. And why are we not seeing this company on the list of companies that the original Fredo has been posting, right? On his company's house. Official Fredo Limited. Thinking, this is a little bit unusual. This isn't really adding up. Okay. On the Parental One, he's on there, but he's got a middle name, so it's not triggering. Nobody's noticing. You might notice if somebody filed a company's house in my name, all right, and don't worry about what my name is, all right. People just saying Ross ain't a real name to throw you off the scent. I ain't even gonna say. But listen, you finna notice if somebody files another company under your name. But not if you got Marvin William. This Marvin William Bailey, he only associated with one company, Parental One Guidance. So I've said, that's deep. I've said, okay, 2 officers on Parental One Guidance. Who's the other person on this? Now, I just want to make sure I don't want to go too crazy with this, okay? This is public record, all right? This is public record, okay? So the other name that's popped up here, and be very careful, is another name. Charlotte Georgina Skeens. And he said, yeah, that's the assistant. I'm saying, wow. If that's really what's going on, like, can you prove any of this stuff with her stealing trademark? And he said, yeah. He said, there'd been a lawsuit. There've been lawsuits, there've been cases, they got open cases, closed cases, all kinds of cases. And I'm like, all right, prove it. So this is a whole filing, all right, for trademark registration for the Parental Guidance Company. Okay, this is an application for rectification by Marvin Bailey, saying a mistake has been made. We're trying to rectify some mistakes. All right, this is public. This is on Google. I found this on Google. All right. So this is basically saying, look, these filings were made. All right. There was an application to change record of ownership by the currently recorded owner, Charlotte Georgia Skeens. The recordings were confirmed. An application was made by Marvin Bailey stating the proprietor had fraudulently transferred the trademarks into her ownership and forged Fredo's, Mr. Bailey's signature. And it says here, the applications for rectification were made by a person other than the registered proprietor. It was necessary to serve the applications on the proprietor in accordance with the rules. All right? Now, there's more to this document. I don't want to go too crazy, and you can go and look it up yourself, okay? But essentially, the filing was made, all right? It's been, they've attempted to rectify it. So this has apparently gone back and forth, right? And there's even a claim here that the person who wanted the assignment to be made has said, has submitted WhatsApp messages, okay? Like it seems to say here that the original person, so the proprietor filed evidence posting screenshots of WhatsApp messages with the applicant where he states, put the logos trademarked in your name, you take the logo. So he's basically clapping back and saying those WhatsApp messages aren't actual permission to assign logos into their name. Okay, it gave the impression, but there's no actual evidence of the assignment being subsequently signed by Fred himself. He's basically saying the messages are ambiguous. They don't contain enough detail to form an accurate assignment. Okay. Basically, he's saying the messages are out of context, they can't be dated, and they don't form enough of a basis to actually have these trademarks to be moved over. And the one part here that kind of doesn't work in Fredo's favor, okay, it basically says there's an accusation that the proprietor forged the applicant's signature on the form. This claims this was not the case. The proprietor had registered themselves as Mr. Bailey's representative when he was the previous proprietor of the mark, then signed the form as both the representative of Mr. Bailey and as the new proprietor. So they're basically making the argument, well, I think in America you have things like power of attorney. They're basically saying, look, I had permission to manage this thing for him. I had permission to move this into myself. But as it says here, all right, conclusion, as there's no evidence of a written assignment of the trademarks in question, the rectifications are allowed. The register is to be rectified to record Mr. Bailey as the proprietor, as was the position prior to the filing of the contested form. Okay. It says, usually the successful party gets an award of costs, but in the most part, the applicant has been unrepresented. All right. Where a party is represented, they usually get awards of costs based on these things. But basically, that is to ensure that costs don't exceed the amount spent on the proceedings. There's no right to be awarded an amount. Okay. They've reassigned the information, trademark, right? No costs have been set out. They're reserving judgment in costs. But essentially, as it says here, there's no evidence of a written assignment of the trademarks in question. The rectifications are allowed. The register is to be rectified to record Mr. Bailey as the proprietor, as was the position prior to the filing of the contested form. Now, I'm thinking, okay, that's quite interesting. That's actually very interesting. Now, what Fred is basically saying is that this person who is his ex-assistant is out for blood and is out to get him. And they are essentially, allegedly, making a play, I guess it would be the word to say. They're allegedly making a play to try and... There's more to it that I don't even want to say, right? So I'm thinking, okay, this is already crazy. And he's saying, bruh, you remember she said that she worked for Chanel? And I was really impressed by that working for me? Well, it's so crazy. So I've Googled it, right? And it would appear to be the case that this person who is having the trademark dispute over PG and who was listed as the director, one of the creators of Parental One Guidance, an article comes up from the Telegraph about Charlotte Skeens, okay? She went to court with Chanel and she was ordered to take down a whistleblowing video in a court battle. She claims she believed it's in the public interest for her claims on TikTok, basically dissing Chanel, to be kept up. And so it come to find out that this person you were super impressed with working for Chanel was actually in court with Chanel and going to war with them in the courtroom. Now, this is all public. This is public, okay? Will Bolton, crime correspondent, you can go at him, all right? This is public information in the Telegraph, which is one of the biggest newspapers in the UK. And this says a former Chanel employee has been ordered to take down a TikTok video where she made damaging allegations against senior executives at the company. Charlotte Skeens, who worked at the fashion brand's office in Mayfair, central London, told the High Court she believed it was in the public interest for her claims to be heard and that they amounted to whistleblowing. Lawyers for Chanel argued the 31-year-old posted the video for financial reasons, and she did not really even believe the claims she was making were true. The court heard she was compared to Lauren Weisberger, who wrote the best-selling novel The Devil Wears Prada, partly based on her experiences at Vogue magazine. The judge, Mr. Justice Sweeting, ruled that whether or not the allegations she made in the video were in the public interest would have to be retested at a trial in April. Until then, he ordered the footage, which he said could harm the company's reputation, must be removed from TikTok as it contained derogatory information about the company. The court heard Miss Skeens, who worked at the company from 2019 to 2022, posted a clip on the social media site last week. The video made several allegations against senior executives at Chanel and had been seen 146,000 times. The specific claims she made against senior executives were only referred to in court as X and Y. The court heard Miss Skeens had previously made a settlement with her former employees in 2022, which prevented her from publishing confidential information. In summer 2024, she made posts online about issues at the company, okay, of which Chanel subsequently became aware of. The case was due to go to trial in March, but on the eve of the hearing, Ms. Skeens made another agreement in the company where she said she would not post confidential information or make derogatory statements. Now, for the record, I just want to say, okay, this article, from what I understand, and this was in March 2025, that I'm reading this from. Okay, this is saying that she was basically forced to take the video down in anticipation of the trial. So this article doesn't say she lost the trial, but we're going to look at something else in a minute. Okay, the KC, the King's Counsel for Michon de Reyes, a serious law firm. I've been to their offices in London. They're serious. They're big boys. They represented Chanel and claimed that she had been seeking to gain financially, posting the clips online. He said that in July 2024, she spoke to a promoter and discussed allegations she was planning to disclose via social media, a podcast, and she also talked about even making a book or a film. He said she's done the same way now. She has done the same again now, and we say it must be for personal gain in some way. She obviously denies that, but it's apparent. Mr. De Silva and Ms. Skeens claimed the allegations were part of a wider cultural issue across the company. She claimed that she viewed the comments she made in the video as whistleblowing and she wanted to speak openly and freely about them. She said the legal action against her was essentially a strategic lawsuit against public participation, or a SLAP. SLAPs are defined by Solicitors Regulation Authority as misuse of the legal system, through bringing or threatening claims that are unmeritorious or characterized by abusive tactics in order to stifle lawful scrutiny and publication. Okay? In February, the Prime Minister refused to ban lawyers from using the tactic, despite promising to clamp down on intolerable intimidation. Okay, the government said they didn't want to get rid of slap lawsuits. And if you follow H3 on YouTube, you'll know that he knows all about the anti-slap motions. All right, that's a big thing for him. Okay, she said the video had been shared by others widely, and since she published, at least 30 people. Someone's blowing up my phone right now. Yeah, bro, don't even worry about who that is. At least 30 people have contacted her about her own experiences, about their own experiences. She argued that if she was forced to take the video down, people would assume it was a result of the legal action. I can't lie, the way that this article was framing it, it felt like that was the point being made. She said the message that sends about the company might discourage other witnesses from coming forward because they feel it will happen to them, and even if you do speak up, it will be detrimental to their behavior. Mr. Justice Sweeting said the interim injunction would remain in place until the next hearing on April 30th. Now, look, this is why the UK sucks, all right? They make it so hard to get this information, but this seems to be an update, all right, from August, where it claims, again, I haven't got the whole piece here, but it says a London judge on Thursday ordered former Chanel employee Charlotte Skeens to temporarily take down videos she posted on TikTok, postings that the legacy fashion brand alleges amount to publishing confidential information and therefore was a breach of a settlement agreement. So they're saying, look, we had a settlement with you. We already had a settlement with you, and you're in breach of it, okay? And this was going around just a couple of days ago. Mission de Reyes secures injunction for Chanel against former employee, all right? A judge has ordered her to temporarily remove the TikTok videos. This says it's temporary. I don't know whether it's it doesn't look like she's fully lost the lawsuit. It looks like the lawsuit is probably still ongoing. But essentially, what Fred is basically putting out there is that this is somebody that was involved in his business, that behind the scenes is trying to take him down, and essentially he doesn't know who is behind this page, all right? He doesn't know who is behind this page. Mr. Fake Flex, all right? He doesn't know who's behind the page, but he's saying, look, there's basically a whole bunch of people that want to take me down, that allegedly are making fake stuff to make me look bad, and that this is personal. This is personal behind-the-scenes stuff from somebody who is involved. Now, look, I can't say at this stage fully black and white what's true and what isn't. I'm not disparaging Mr. Fake Flex. Please don't come for my hat too. But what I am saying is that there's definitely more to this story. And according to Fredo, it's very personal, and it's people that he once trusted that are putting a whole lot of stuff out there with different context and different, different motivations. It's a very crazy situation, and it's very wild. So look, there's more to the story. There's things that I can't even get into at this stage. There's things that, honestly, I need to go and dig into this and do my homework and do my research and get deeper into this situation, because realistically, this story is crazy, and there's so much to it. There's more to it than meets the eye. This is the craziest story since Suspect from Active Gang went on the run and was dropping videos from Kenya, and people were trying to work out where he is on Reddit. Okay, this is even more complicated than that. We got Pages trying to expose Fred. We got Fred trying to clap back. He's dropping music. You know what I'm saying? He just dropped his song No Comment. That was a banger. Addressed some of the allegations. But I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments whether you think this information was interesting, whether you think that Fredo actually, has a good point in all of this, or whether he's, trying to basically distract the narrative with some other things. I'm hearing all sorts of things. I'm pretty sure I've seen some of these screenshots on this page with parental 1 guidance, not parental guidance. That could mean that some of that information, some of those DMs that are being shared with people who apparently shouldn't have been getting messages, can we really be sure that they were sent by Fredo? I don't know. All right, I don't know. I'm sure Fred's going to watch this video. I'm sure he's going to probably have a few things to say about it. Some things he's going to like, some things he's not going to like. And we just got to keep it real over here. So if you want me to keep looking into this story, right now, this is the story that's got the UK in a chokehold. My American audience, at the start, some of you guys weren't caring about this, but it seems like over time, there's been some more interest in my guy Fredo, and we ain't talking about Fredo Bang from Baton Rouge. So let me know what you guys think. Keep me updated. And for the love of God, if anybody knows how to make the stream stop being so jittery, I've been fixing all my settings. All right. I'm on OBS recording this from my camera. Okay. Hopefully the audio is still good at least. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's actually crazy. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. If you know how to improve my setup, let me know there too. And we're going to get into some more of these stories. I got more updates. I got American updates coming for you today too. So stay locked in, stay tuned. And yeah, we're gonna find out about all of this madness. But yeah, the Fredo story is deep. Maybe you guys go and find out some information that I didn't have, because clearly there's a lot more to this than meets the eye. Appreciate you. Catch you in the next one.